Hey guys, Pretzelman945 here. Welcome back to another video. In tonight's video, I'm going to be continuing my top 20 TV shows list. I'm just going to kind of go. I don't really have a plan for how many I want to cover in this video. I'm just going to go until I kind of get tired of reporting. So without further ado, let us get into it. Um, the 16 was kind of like the TV shows that I enjoy, but like this like the 15 to 1 is like the really juicy stuff I'm gonna talk about for clarification. Um, so at number 15, I have Avatar: The Last Airbender. And the only reason that this is so high up on this list because this is such a tightly knit list of TV shows. Um, because literally this show is basically flawless. Um, it has amazing characters, great villains, like wonderful protagonist in Aang, nice like team between Gintara, uh, what the heck was his name? Zuko, Suki, forgetting the other character's names piss me off, but whatever. Um, Azula and Hasing Bay are great villains in this show. The animation looks absolutely incredible. The concept is really unique. A lot of the episodes feature very unique concepts. The whole thing is also just extremely entertaining. Like it gives you this warm feeling inside that just makes you want to keep watching it over and over again, which is why I literally watched the entire show in 4 days. Because I got that obsessed with it. It is such an extremely good show that just kind of excels at basically every single plot beat in my opinion. Um and it's just so incredibly entertaining to watch. I really love this show. And for anyone that's looking for a half decent cartoon slash animated show, this is on Netflix. Watch this. It's so good. Um and number 14 is Game of Thrones. Um So with Game of Thrones, I think that the main reason that I love this show is purely because of the amount of entertainment value that I got from it. I'll be completely honest, I think it has some cool storylines, but none of it is anything that amazingly deep or complicated, nor do I think any of the character there are a few awesome characters, but for the most part they're all kind of just your average like they're not bad characters, but like I just this isn't really a show that I watch to get a lot of depth out of the characters. I just watch it because the characters and themselves and the writing, at least in the first couple of seasons, not the later ones, is really interesting. And there are definitely a few specific characters that I want to highlight, but that's my main like thing that I really enjoy about this show is just the fantasy action being really awesome and just being continually entertained. Um I did want to highlight a few characters in particular though. Jon Snow. I really love Jon Snow's arcs within the Night's Watch throughout the show as he slowly grows as a character and watching him deal with the growing amount of that conflict. Um until we get into the later seasons in which he basically just becomes a mindless drone for spitting out exposition and kissing Daenerys. Um uh, Introducing a second character, Daenerys Targaryen, I think is a very unique idea, and for a character and the type of ruler she wants to be is also super interesting. Once again, additionally ruined by the later seasons, but I'm not really looking into that as much. Um, I really just love like following her journey throughout as she basically like slowly grows her army. And I think that her ruling the city of Marine is the best part of this because she gets to learn like what it is basically like in order to rule, essentially, in order to rule. And and it's basically that like she gets a lot of character development into determining whether she would actually be a good ruler or not. I think that's very, very interesting. I also want to highlight Tyrion because his character arcs are absolutely amazing, and he is by far the funniest character in the entire show. I love Tyrion. Another one I have to highlight is also Tywin Lannister because his reputation is well built up to, and he is an extremely entertaining screen presence in basically whatever he does. And then lastly, the next final big one that I wanted to highlight was Arya Stark, my favorite character from this show, and my ninth favorite TV show character. Uh, I she is my favorite character because she is easily the most badass character in the entire show, and she also is one of the few characters that I think is not completely ruined by the later seasons drop in quality. Um, that being said, I think the music is absolutely epic. The music is so good. The choreography and the action and the scenery is all very, very good. The acting is also extremely well done by like 90% of the characters, 90% of the time. I would say. And I think the way I would describe the later seasons is I don't think they're as bad as everyone says. I just think that they're kind of average. When compared to the rest of the seasons, which are like amazing, they're just kind of average. And I cite my main reason for not liking them as much, like as I mentioned earlier, my favorite thing about the show is just how much entertainment value I get from it. And in this sort of with the later seasons and the like the drop in quality in writing, so does such my drop in entertainment value, which is why I like the later seasons less. Um, at number 13 is Dragon Ball Super. Um, this was really difficult deciding which one of these, which either between whether this or Death Note was better, but I ultimately decided Death Note was slightly better, and I'll get to that when I get to it. But um, I really love Dragon Ball Super, like almost as much as Dragon Ball Z. Because I think that it improves upon every single character, every single major character in very significant ways. I think that every single arc that they have in this show is incredibly entertaining and extremely well written. Whether we are talking about the starting out with Golden Frieza to um uh tournament uh like Universe 6 and Universe 7 um versus um and then the Future Trunks Zamasu arc and then Tournament of Power. I'm pretty sure that's all of them. I might be missing one though. Um every single arc is every single saga is extremely well written and also extremely entertaining. Um I'm just gonna kind of give a highlight of each um hold on, I need to look. Anyway, as I was saying, I knew I'd missed one. So starting off with the God of Destruction Beerus saga, I feel like this is really a amazing way to start out the show because it kind of catapults Dragon Ball into a new scale, this kind of level of the gods, which is like new original territory, and it allows for Dragon Ball's amazing sense of scale to flourish. And I think I am probably going to make a separate video about just how good Dragon Ball's sense of scale is. Because I literally could make an entire video about that by itself, and I think that's what I'm going to need to do, honestly. Um, and also, Beerus and Whis are extremely entertaining new characters that are voice acted wonderfully and have a lot of funny lines. And their chemistry with Goku and Vegeta is amazing. Um, Next arc, Golden Frieza. It's a wonderfully entertaining way to briefly reintroduce a classic villain from Z that also doesn't overstay its welcome, but also introduces enough to still be incredibly entertaining and make Frieza the the well-written character that he absolutely is, and Golden Frieza as a form by itself is absolutely awesome. And also, I like the idea that Frieza, he was just that powerful without even training, and then just training becomes like a level of gods and plus, which I think is funny. Um, and then there's the Universe 6 arc, which is just um its own isolated entertaining thing. It's not my favorite one, but it's still really entertaining. All different characters watching them fight it out. The gag with Monica is also really funny. Um, and then after that, the Zamazu arc is my favorite saga throughout any of the Dragon Ball shows. Genuinely, because of the amount of emotion and just how cool the fights are, and the complexities of Zamasu's character and his intricate, fascinating motivations, and Goku Black's incredible voice acting, and Super Saiyan Rose being awesome, and then there's Fuse Zamasu and Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, and also the fact that Zamasu is the best Dragon Ball villain of all time, and oh my god, all those things culminating just makes it so incredibly awesome, along with the fact additionally that Trunks is a complete badass out this entire arc. I just love it. And then the Tournament Power arc is this absolutely epic, grand scale, mass fight that is an absolutely perfect way to end off the series, especially with Ultra Instinct, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, um, Gohan re-unlocking his ultimate potential, and also how close it ends up being between a couple remaining contestants for between a few universes, to the point where I never actually thought that it dragged on very much, which is honestly kind of an incredible feat considering how large this arc was. It basically was like the latter half of the show, latter third-ish, and and there were a lot of things that had to happen while keeping a consistent pace. And so I think the fact that it managed to do that was very impressive. Overall, this massively ups the scale of Dragon Ball in an incredibly entertaining way, and just everything about it is very well done. I love Dragon Ball Super. At number 12 is Death Note. Um, Death Note is now my second favorite anime behind, well, third favorite anime behind, um, Dragon Ball Z and Attack on Titan. Um, but my God, Death Note is so good. So first off, it introduces an absolutely fascinating idea about the Death Note itself, which is such a creative idea. Like in terms of originality, I already can give it like a 10 out of 10 on that score because it's such a unique idea. And then they introduce the character of Light Yagami as being this fascinating character with super interesting motivations. And this show literally picks up right off the bat. It does not waste any time introducing any of the major characters. We're already introduced to L as the major like mysterious hero of this story. And a couple episodes later, we get his face reveal as to what he actually looks like, and their dynamic as it builds throughout the show of them constantly trying to outwit each other is ceaselessly entertaining and so well written, and just like the antics of Light's mind and just how insane he actually turns out to be is just truly a fascinating villain, an amazing character, and L is this amazing counter to that, and just their dynamic is so entertaining, and it constantly keeps you on the edge of your seat while you are watching the show, and um it's just so well written. um Ryuk, not Miyazaki. Ryuk is also an incredibly entertaining and funny character. um and his lines of dialogue are great. Um, but also I feel like the way it manages to incorporate various side characters that like don't steal too much screen time from the main presence, which is Light versus Zell and eventually Light versus Nero. Um, and it manages to use side characters like Misa and Ryuk and the other Shinigami that I forget the name of, and his other girlfriend. Like, they're effective plot tools. And like Ray Pember, the FBI agent, and his wife, they managed to use these things very effectively, even to a lesser extent, like Watari and um uh, Light's dad. Even to a lesser extent, they managed to use this extremely well. And ultimately, they just like, including Light's other loyal followers, so to speak, they managed to use it in a way where it's just enough screen time to where it's not completely overbearing, but at the same time it also doesn't manage to be like it also just manages to be enough. Some additional notes for 2006's animation looks absolutely incredible, and also the OST is freaking epic. It's so cool, and it features this combination of epic operatic choral music mixed in with these awesome rock tracks that also complement the sick ass intro and outro. And also the fact that it's not even 40 episodes is honestly also mind blowing because it feels way longer than that, and the pacing to it is so perfect because it manages to transition between these like really intense and then these quiet, very subtle but also tense moments. It manages to transition between these wonderfully, and that also adds to the extremely entertaining dynamic of the entire show. Um, all right, I'm done with Death Note. At number 11 is The Mandalorian. I'll admit I don't have as much to say about this one, but Pedro Pascal plays Din Djarin amazingly. Baby Yoda is really cute. Moff Gideon is one of the best villains in any TV show, in my opinion, masterfully played by Giancarlo Esposito. All the characters are really, really cool, especially in season two with Boba Fett and Fennec Shand. Um, but also Gina Carano and whatever the name of the other characters are. Grief Karga. Um, and a very tragic death of Creel. Um, all those things together make this show incredibly entertaining with great writing and some of the best world building and like use of different episodes I've ever seen. It also incorporates a wide variety of different and unique actors that all bring their absolute A game to this. The action is also very nice. The music is very, very epic. Um, so yeah, all those things are very positive. I know I don't have as much to gush about this compared to Death Note, but I do like it better than Death Note. Um, beginning our top 10 officially, we have completely out of left field pick here probably, but this is the Golden Girls. Um, this is really the only sitcom I like, but man, it is so goddamn funny. Like this show is packed to the brim with dated references, really old jokes, and just hilarious quips in general based on the personality traits of every single character, which it really maximizes the humor using every aspect of each character's unique personality, especially Rose's, um, and Sophia's, and Blanche's, and yeah, all the characters. Um, but especially I think Rose and Blanche. Sophie is my favorite because I think that she is the funniest, but all the characters have their own extremely hilarious moments throughout the course of the whole show. Um, and the intro is also really, really good for like absolutely no reason. Like that song is such a banger. And also it has a surprisingly nice amount of character development as um each of the various characters goes through certain things that are pretty major arcs depending on what the episode is, or they're kind of more minor things. Either way, there is a very nice amount of character development in this show that kind of like you can clearly tell it like has had an effect on how the characters behave within the show. Like that kind of thing is very consistent, which is another positive I think for this show. Um, yeah, other than that, that's about it, honestly. Moving on to the last one I'm gonna do tonight, and that is Dragon Ball Z. Um, So Dragon Ball Z is, of course, the absolute classic and by far the best one, as it absolutely deserves to be. This one by far um, uses the sense of scale the best, better than the original, and in my opinion, actually even better than Super, because it literally, just like the original show, but even more so this time, it like is an absolutely into it's like literally the storytelling within Dragon Ball Z as it's incorporated in literally everything between the transformations that the moves and that the characters learn and their power ups and things like that and the moves that they learn and unlike how Piccolo absorbs Kami, for example, and Nail, and things like that that all make them stronger, is extremely interesting, and I like all of those concepts that are displayed there. Um, this show has so many good freaking villains, from Cell to Majin Buu to Frieza. Every single one of them is an absolute classic and deserves to be treasured. My personal favorite has always been Cell, because I think that it was the most interesting idea for a character that was executed the best. Um, every single character gets absolutely massive development in this show, whether it's literally watching Gohan grow up from when he was 5 into a full-blown adult that gets married, or seeing Krillin find happiness with Android 18, watching Vegeta build his family together and Goku continue to get stronger while at the same time pursuing his own family dreams is all absolutely amazing. Really love to see all these different aspects of it. Um, and the animation was amazing. The fights are incredible. The music is also really, really good. Dragon Ball, and of course, the dub voice acting is just absolutely legendary. It's very iconic. I would highly recommend. Even if you only watch anime and sub, watch Dragon Ball Z and dub, because it is genuinely like a really good dub throughout the course of the entire show. Like, not once I even consider like maybe I should watch this in Japanese instead, because the voice acting was so incredibly good. Uh, I'm quite tired, so I'm gonna try and wrap this up rather quickly. Yeah, I think that about rounds up my thoughts. Every single character is like powered up in this show multiple times, often, and they just become absolute badasses. And this show also just kind of like brings back a very warm feeling that I just kind of really enjoy with it, um which can be somewhat rare. Um so yeah, I think that about does it. That is going to do it for this section of TV show lists. We got 15 to 9, which I think is pretty good progress. I'm not sure how much I'll do in the last episode, just like I wasn't sure how much I'd do in this in this episode. I ended up doing one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I didn't realize the recorder was still running. That's going to be it for this video. Take care. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.